Hello everyone. I wanted to spend some time today discussing with you the topic around having physical aches and pains in your body and how that's related to the energetic shifts that we are currently moving through. So having health issues or having old injuries is one piece of that. It's definitely a real experience if you're moving through that. A lot of that can be shaped by other issues, such as emotional and energetic origins that then eventually shape the physical reality, your physical body, as the physical layer is the last to really integrate and process something that's occurring on a subtle level. However, the energetic shifts that we are moving through, these times are escalating even more. You're seeing this with the solar activity, how much is getting inundated with light into our bodies, into our energy fields. And what that does, as that light, that plasma energy from the sun, comes into our electromagnetic field of our aura, it then integrates into our physicality, into our cells, and it pushes up and out everything that is not like that light, anything that does not match that new energy. So in those passages, we can experience something called Ascension Symptoms, which you may be familiar with that term. We are on an ascension path as a humanity, as a planet. We are raising in consciousness over a span of many, many years. And this is elevating even more, especially with this solar activity that is boosting it up even more for us, which is why we are seeing our physical lives, our personal lives are moving through so much. As the energy is getting faster, quicker, much is shifting. And this is also the case with the collective, with so much occurring on a world stage. These are the times that we are in. These elevated, but also powerful times that we signed up for as souls. Not consciously, but we chose this time to be alive as a soul, to advance our consciousness, to advance our soul's growth. So as we move through these passages and these symptoms come up in our body, it is often a sign of something that was old or something that already holds a susceptibility in our body that is coming up and out and getting louder. So you may find that old injuries are very loud, very achy. You may find that the upper body is going through quite a bit. It's a very common area to feel that. As the light comes into the planet and into our bodies, a portion and a main center that it really enters in our field is in the back of the head, at the neck chakra. It's also called the zeal point. And that is a chakra that begins to integrate the light into our nervous system, really stemming out like a tree into our entire body and energetic field. So we'll often feel a lot of pressure in that area, and that stems to the upper parts of the body. So we could feel the neck aching, the head, a lot of headaches. A lot of clients are saying how much the headaches are really bothersome, that they don't seem to go away, like a dull aching. And that can also be the influence of our pineal glands. This is the third eye and the pineal gland. But that's connected to our brain as well. So there's a lot of shifts in our brain and the operation of our hemispheres of the brain and the way that all is communicating and connecting and balancing the left and right hemispheres. There is so much taking place on so many levels as we are moving through these enormous shifts and solar activity. So our bodies are just trying to catch up to all of that. And I know it can be pretty uncomfortable to move through it. I just want to touch on some other common ones in case you are moving through this as well. So with the heightened stimulation to our pineal glands, we can find that sleep is very touch and go, especially around the solar activity times or in the peak moon phases or eclipses. That sleep can be very tricky, because if you are a sensitive soul, most likely you are traveling in your sleep time, or you are needed in your waking state in order to support the collective, either that, or you are needed to process something for yourself in a waking state. So there's always a purpose of why we may feel very wired, and it's usually a temporary passage that we eventually find that time to sleep once that softens a bit after the passage. Another very common one is digestive issues, having a lot of fluctuations in your digestion. So you could feel as though there's a lot of gurgling, you're having to go to the bathroom more. We are literally purging at times the old through those areas, through those lower chakras, the lower 3 chakras, which is where a lot of trauma can be held in those areas. So we're releasing the old through those 3 chakra centers. And if that's occurring for you, you could also notice that you are maybe holding some excess water as well. Some bloating is happening. It often happens around these higher energy passages where we take in that energy and we literally can kind of feel like we are very bloated and embodying that new energy until our body fully processes it more. So you could find that your stomach is kind of expanding and contracting just depending on the phases of the energetics that we're moving through. So another piece is just the general aches and pains, and guides are nudging me with something before I move away from the GI issues, is that our appetite. So you could find that your appetite is doing that as well. It's fluctuating. It could be ravenous on some days, or you could feel like you have no appetite at all, and maybe that's accompanied by some nausea or getting turned off by certain foods. And that can be very common in these passages, along with thirst, feeling extra thirsty, because our bodies need that extra hydration in order to process the new energy that's coming in. Our bodies are literally made of about 80% water. So when this energy comes in, we need that as a conduit in order for our cells to integrate that new energy. So really wonderful tool. If you are having a lot of symptoms, Ascension symptoms, and physical discomfort, is to really up your game of hydration. You can even add a lemon to your water, which further acts as a conduit to carry energy through your cells and your system. So another piece that I was touching on was the achiness, that general achiness in your body where you're just feeling uncomfortable, almost like growing pains when you were a kid growing up. And that's also the old moving up and out. A good tool for that is really just to move the body, do any kind of movement, get outside and experience nature, go for a walk, or do some exercise just to offload some of that old excess energy that's moving out. Another fun piece is having some brain fog, having a hard time concentrating, feeling as though you're very tired, you're very fatigued during your day. And that's all of this just trying to sync up with this new energy. It's your brain, your pineal gland, everything, the computer of your body trying to sync up to what this new information coming into your body and into your energetic field is trying to show you and trying to process and integrate. So usually that is a temporary passage as well, but it can be a rather uncomfortable one. A tool for that is to turn to some pranayama breathing techniques that will help to boost and elevate your energetic levels. And one that I'm getting a nudge for that you can find here on my channel, I do have a playlist for pranayama, which are yogic breathing techniques that support different themes, different benefits for you. And it can really help in these passages with Ascension Symptoms. And I do want to note, this is not breath work, the trending breath work that you're seeing that is very common and popular right now. This is stemming from the origins of the yogic traditions and have thousands of years of lineage of specific benefits for the body and the energy field. So the one I would recommend, if you're needing that boost, you're needing that elevation in your concentration and that brain fog to lift a little bit for you, would be Kapalabhati. It's also known as fire breath. And this breath, literally, Kapalabhati, the wording of that means skull shining. You know, that sounds funny, but it's literally shining your head, your skull, your brain to release the cobwebs, get rid of that fatigue, that stagnation. And it also boosts your energy levels. So if you're feeling tired, that's a really great breath to turn to. So Ascension Symptoms are fun. It's definitely a unique part of this journey, being in a physical body. While we are morphing and changing, we're literally offloading density from our bodies, and we're becoming stronger in our energetic fields. We are becoming more light. And so in that process, it's really like a birth. So that new energy comes in, we feel that offloading, we feel that maybe ascension symptom discomfort, we feel maybe some emotional releases through that as well. And then we go to a new level. We have shed some density. So we're going up this ladder of this ascension process as we move to new levels of our consciousness states, not just as individuals, but as a collective. So we're all doing this together, and we are all connected within this. I do want to note that if you are experiencing anything in your body that is uncomfortable and it does not seem to be going away, definitely seek out medical support a professional medical advice if you are experiencing something and have concerns for it. Sometimes we can have things that pop up in our bodies, especially in these times, and we go and seek support and they aren't able to find anything because they can be the Ascension symptoms. So I wanted to share that piece here because I am having a lot of different clients come and share that about how their bodies are moving through so much and not being able to understand why or have answers to how to navigate it or how to remedy it. So know that we are in this process, we are in this ascension path, and this piece is part of the growth. So our bodies are coming along for the ride, which is why it is so important in these times to up your game of self-care. Do everything and anything you can to take care of your physical container. Take care of your energetic field, your nervous system, because it is going through so much to evolve you in these times. So if you would like to learn more about my services, I offer in-person and remote healing sessions. You can find that at entelechivisions.com. And also my Patreon library has an entire library of support of energy healing tracks and several tracks that focus on supporting the physical body and the different parts of the body that you can turn to in your own time and space. You can find a 7-day free trial on there if you're curious to check it out. So enjoy the ride, give yourself some grace, some compassion, because this isn't easy work to do this, and we're all doing it together.